Well, as much as I'd like to be out here working on my transmissions today, trying to get the car back on the road, there's really not much I can do, seeing as I need a new input shaft for the Suffix D transmission to work with that Series 3 transmission. I should probably actually clean that up and see what type of what suffix this transmission is. But in the meantime, I do want to show you this. I noticed it as I was pulling it out, and I guess I just never showed you. This was actually starting to get pretty worn out. Well, the gears and everything look great, in good shape, not worn at all, hardly worn at all. But this main shaft was getting wallered out all on its own before the water took to it. If you have a look at that, that doesn't look quite right, does it? I think it's all supposed to be about this diameter down here. Kind of went, that's weird when I pulled it out, and then I had a look in the back of this bearing thing. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Have a look at these rollers. Look at that. I don't think that's right. Focus. There you go. Yeah, that's just something else. That was doing that long before the water got to this. Well, here's my original engine. As you can see, it's still got a whole bunch of screws and everything still on it. So the order of today is to basically strip it down to the bare block and then get it back into the car. That way I can get it up to the machine shop to get all that done as soon as possible. Bag and tag is the order of the day, I guess. Not going to bring you along with the whole time. I need all my brains focused on not misplacing pieces and whatnot. But I'll keep you updated as I go. Well, I got the flywheel off, and I guess my rear main has been leaking for a while in there. But what's interesting is the pilot bushing. If you look on this side, it's actually standing proud. And, well, I already pulled it out once. Nope, doesn't want to come out a second time. But yeah, it... let's see. Nope, nothing. But I actually just finger pulled it out, so this has been running not too happily in there, and I could hear it when I pushed in the clutch occasionally. This thing would go ee like a stuck pig, man. Also, on here, there's a couple munch teeth. And anyways, I'm not going to use this flywheel again. Well, at least on this motor, because it's got the two what are they called? Two dowel pins on here for the 9-inch clutch and clutch cover. Whereas there was a 9.5-inch clutch. It was only using one of the dowel pins. I think it was that one. And that was just centered on the bolts, which isn't really the best way to do it. Oh, hello, Mr. Nasty. Anyways, so I'm converting this to the other one. I think I put it in the car already. Got that out of the 2A. It's got the timing marks on it, as well as same as this one did, and the ring gear's not damaged either. So I also there's also a lot less wear from the clutch on the other ones, so better choice in the long run. Well, here's the moment of truth. This is the flywheel housing. Because I don't have three hands, I'm going to put my foot there, so, well, probably there would be a better shot. And well, let's see what's behind here. Tappy tap tap. All right. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there's all sorts of stampings behind there. On the other block, this was the blue color behind here that, what is it? Duck Egg Blue or, what's the other one? Duck Egg Blue or Light Admiralty Gray, I believe, is what it was called. Kind of a bluish teal. That's interesting that this is like white. I think this engine originally should have been gray, so I'm a bit surprised it's not that behind there. I'm not sure what all these stampings are for. RND, there's an 8, an L, That's weird. Interesting. There's some gunk up here. I don't know what that bolt is for. Looks like a bolt. There's one there and one up here. Interesting. And of course the rear core plug, which is supposedly a real pain to get at. Yeah. Alright, onwards and inwards. On the rear flange, for lack of a better word, of the crank, there's a little cutout so that you can access these bolts for the rear main seal retainer, I believe is what that is. Those are 11 millimeter. And, yep, just come out. I'll say most of these came out nice and easy with the gun and going in with the slot. But some of them are in there just enough you can't get the socket in there and you have to wrench them out. It's like, could they have made that like a 1/4 inch deeper and saved me this trouble here? This is the fourth one like that. There's two here, one there, and then two on the other side to match. This is the last one, so it's going fairly quickly for me now, but boy, patience is a good thing to have with these here ones. Every once in a while I check because they like to stick in the rubber. There we go, finally. Alright, enough of that. Well, as you can see, it's gotten dark outside, but I've gone ahead and pulled out all the studs and bolts for the, manifolds, and I'm working on this. These are bloody small bolts, and I'm just glad they're all coming out. 5/16. I'm doing that for my benefit as much as anyone else's. I believe that's 5/16 as well up there. Yeah, sure seems close. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Whitworth threads, but 5/16 seems to work on them. Seeing as I don't think I've seen anyone cover exactly what these look like, there it is out. Let's see. There, you can read that. And that's all it is in the block. So, just a big empty hole. Oh, just a hole. Alright, up next is the front cover. And you can kind of see, you really can't see actually, let's get the light where you can. You can really see that oxidation. I'm looking at it. Oh no, you can there are actually score lines in there, so these cam bearings will definitely need to be replaced. I'll punch them out and pull them. That way they don't have to be done at the shop. Alright, I've been pulling everything off this side of the engine. Got the cover that holds the fuel pump off, and it's interesting, the gasket material in there definitely looks like it's got writing. And then the gasket between the buffer plate, well, it's over there in a bag. The buffer plate and this gasket tore, and I'm not sure, that almost looks like that might be asbestos in there, so not going to touch that a whole lot. Also, while I was over here, I found a stamping over here for an A. I haven't found anything else, but I don't know. There's lots of weird stamps on here that don't make sense to me. Oh, I don't know. Is that one? Alright, keep working on this. I'm pulling the studs out of the distributor part right here. So, double nut method. 2 nuts on there, tighten them up together, turn the bottom one, and the stud should come out. Haven't been having any problems with that yet, so fingers crossed. Well, on the topic of strange markings, on the head, up at this end there's a T. Over here, well, it's upside down, but it certainly looks like a 960. There you go. And then there's a 0 down here. I'm guessing that 960 is a date, because that goes with the date that's cast in the block all the way down there. The rest of the numbers I have no idea about, and definitely don't know where that T came from either. We've got all the head bolts out of the block right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull the head off. and set it aside on some cardboard. Then I think I'm going to try and pull out the guides for the tappets. Might have to rig up something to do that, though. Well, dinner's ready, so I guess I'm going to call it an evening. Just got to pack this whole pile of stuff up and I'll get it back in here. I do have all the head bolts out of the head, so that is loose. Just got to watch out for that. Moving her back, and yeah, call that a night.